What's poppin', yo? We've been having an interesting development on the Chance the Rapper saga lately. The most recent is, you've probably seen it. It was Chance the Rapper's birthday, and he was at some event. I don't know if it was in Jamaica or what, but he was dancing, to say the least. I'll probably show you guys some clips. It depends. YouTube does not play around with this. But to sum it up succinctly, Chance the Rapper was dancing up on some cheeks, to say the least, with multiple chicks. It was all over. He was enjoying himself, still rocking that three hat. That is some dedication to branding. I've never not seen him with it since it came out. And people were throwing up the question of, yo, what's going on? Chance the Rapper is married, this and that. And it sparked some conversation. I didn't really care because it's not my business, nor do I care about these people's relationships unless it involves music, which it kind of does right now, or it may involve music in the near future. And hear me out. This is going to be interesting. So there was this conversation about a bunch of Caribbean people were saying, hey, this is normal. This is why I can't. Man, if this is normal and this is platonic, then hey, man, I guess y'all can rock with the Caribbeans. Because if you're okay with your wife doing this, then I'm pretty sure you have to be from that culture to be okay with something like this. I don't see somebody that's not from that culture being cool with it. But that's not the point. Chance the Rapper's wife, who, if you guys remember previously, they were having some issues that wasn't looking good on Chance the Rapper's image. And if we remember, Chance the Rapper has a very curated image. I won't say clean. It is a pretty clean image, but it's very, very curated. It's almost like a politician, which is what I've said multiple times I see him trying to transition to in the future. But he was married, or this was before he was married, and there was kind of this article that was going around with his now wife saying something along the lines of, oh, you know, he doesn't take care of his child and he's kind of like a deadbeat. It didn't make him look good. And they got married, that thing got buried, and now we're here. What happened though, and then we get that album, which people weren't too fond of. His wife goes on Instagram and highlights this part of a quote from Maya Angelou saying, most people don't grow up. It's too damn difficult. What happens is most people get older. That's the truth of it. They honor their credit cards, they find parking spaces, they marry, they have the nerve to have children, but they don't grow up. Not really. They get older, but to grow up costs the earth. The earth. It means you take responsibility for the time you take up, for the space you occupy. It's serious business, and you find out what it costs us to love and to lose, to dare and to fail, and maybe even more to succeed. The timing of this, people were in her comment section even before this saying, oh, you don't deserve, the usual nonsense where people don't even know these people, but for some reason they know what they deserve and don't deserve and what they can do, quote unquote, better. Whatever, that's not the point. So people found this to be in response to what Chance the Rapper was involved in during his birthday. Now, I don't care about any of this, but I do think this can be a rollout. I'm not saying this was planned, but hear me out here. This can be the redemption arc in your eyes, the fans' eyes, for Chance the Rapper. Because last album, right? Big Day. The takeaway that everyone seems to have gotten from that album, when there was a lot said on that album, was the whole, oh, like I love my wife thing. People clowned him for it relentlessly over the past 3 years, has it been? Has it been more than 3 years? It's been years that they've been clowning him. Now, how better for Chance the Rapper to come back? And keep in mind, Chance the Rapper has been working on music since at least the beginning of this year. He's been recording, he's been active, he hasn't been releasing, but he's been making music, preparing for another album. This is where we get into the conversation of there needing to be a story, because Chance the Rapper, don't get it twisted, has been releasing good songs in the past 2-3 years. Great singles. People haven't even really listened to them because they have this salty taste in their mouth, and the narrative around him is one that isn't appealing to the majority of listeners. They don't want to hear that you have a great family and all that. These listeners want dysfunction because their lives are dysfunctional. They can't relate to anything good. Come on, why do you think they're listening to music all hours of the day? So how better than to craft a story, which it's also, I believe, the 10-year anniversary of acid rap. And I think they're either releasing it on streaming services or one of the songs, Juice, got on streaming services. But it creates conversation. And I think he's going on a tour for acid rap as well. But now, Chance the Rapper's in having marriage trouble, let's say, publicly. We don't know what's actually going on. So this is the public appearance. What better for Chance the Rapper to come back in music than a rollout where he supposedly disrespects his wife publicly, then supposedly his wife is upset about it and posts some quote about him being immature. When his last album was about loving his wife, now he comes back as a playboy. Listen, I don't want Chance the Rapper to have anything but a happy and joyful life with a family, and I don't like to see families broken up. But this isn't about me. This is about y'all. And you guys want that. Let's keep it a buck. Don't try to come here and say, oh man, nah, I just want better music. Shut up. There's plenty of good music out there. You're not listening to it. What people want is a story, a redemption story at that. And if it means that his marriage has to fall apart and he has to drop a crazy fire album that has nothing to do with loving his wife and about getting back in his bag and about how he let his music slip, whatever the case may be, and he didn't know how to really be what he used to be and give the people what they wanted, y'all are going to eat that up, especially if the music is fire. That's just a part of the equation. I've seen it happen time and time again. People are also get excited when relationships end because, we're about to get some fire music. So realistically, anybody that's saying, no, I care about these people, they don't care. They view celebrities and music artists as television. They're television characters. They don't see them as human. What would be even better, though, is if this was faked. So if there wasn't actually problems and they were able to, make amends about everything, yet the rollout and the narrative still builds around this. And then he can, benefit from the success and then get his wife back. Because that's what people want to see you win, and then they want to see you lose, and then they want to see you win again. It's kind of like when Offset lost Cardi B. People were clowning him, but then when he got Cardi B back, they were going to get a divorce at some time. But then when he got Cardi B back, everybody's excited for him, and they're like, damn, man, he got her back. He won. They just want to see these cycles. They don't want to see, static, or not static, but equilibrium. They want to see peaks and troughs, and, you can pass equilibrium on the way. So I think this would be a very, very entertaining Chance the Rapper saga to watch out for if this is the case, and that's what it could be built up as, but we'll just have to see. I don't really know when his album is even going to come out. If I look at the dates of the tour, it says, as a matter of fact, it's not even a tour. It's just a anniversary show, 10-year anniversary show that he's going to do in Chicago at the United Center. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Then that means he might actually have an album coming during that time, probably this summer, maybe the fall, and then a tour following. Because if you guys recall, Chance the Rapper had to cancel his Big Day tour because he said family reasons. But the truth is that actually that means it was pre-COVID, so it was at least 4 years ago if he had to cancel the tour, and it wasn't for that reason. The reason was they couldn't sell the tickets because they had booked venues that were too big. I'm going to be very interested in seeing how Chance the Rapper rolls it out, what the story is looking like, what the narrative is looking like, because while this is all in good fun that I'm talking about, this particular narrative, it could actually pan out well. But I'm just interested in what narrative they're planning, because Chance the Rapper can't just come back with great music. People won't even give it a chance. And I think he knows that, especially after having dropped some fire singles in the past several years and people not even checking it out because of an album that they didn't like, which is absurd, and that's how people say they don't behave, but it's exactly how they do behave, which is why you don't listen to people. You just see what they do. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.